about a few different couples from this last episode of Love After Lockup. Usually I try to take screenshots of the episode while it's playing, but for some reason I forgot to get any of Courtney and Will, so I apologize for that. But we pretty much see Will and Courtney driving in the car, and Courtney is glued to her phone. But here's the thing, she's sitting there reading all these texts and texting all these people, and she just sits there and she keeps cracking up and laughing, and you could tell that somebody was over there sending her some dirty text that she was just getting a kick out of. And Will's just sitting over there peeping over on her phone and looking at what she's laughing at and what she thinks is so funny. And then eventually he takes her to a sandwich shop. They go inside this sandwich shop, they sit down, and then all of a sudden she starts popping off on Will, accusing him of being broke because he took her to a sandwich shop. She's like, "Are you freaking broke? This is where you're gonna take me for your first date?" Well, that's pretty much what you're dressed for, woman. She had a freaking beanie and hoodie on. Like, where do you expect him to take you? That's exactly how she was dressed, was like for a sandwich shop. I just felt like she was acting so bratty, making such a big deal about this sandwich shop. And then when Will was like, "Well, what do you want to eat?" She's like, "I'm not hungry." He's like, "Come on, the whole reason I came here is because you've been bitching nonstop that you're hungry." But now she wants to throw a temper tantrum because she's at a sandwich shop. And I just feel like she's acting bratty as hell and makes me question what she's really after when it comes to Will. Like, girl, you should be grateful. You went from eating mystery meat in prison to sandwiches. I would be so freaking happy if I was in Courtney's shoes. And so Will was like, "Dude, I'm not broke. I have spent over $10,000 on you in a matter of days since you've been out of prison." I guess he spent thousands on the wedding. He spent like $1,000 or $2,000 on the officiant. He had to fly her mom out. He had to, what else did he buy? He bought her a phone, bought her everything she has, and I guess it totaled to over $10,000. Courtney just kept complaining. She was so unhappy, and Will was like, "I just don't get it." He's like, "I sat there and spent all this money on you." And she's like, "Yeah, but you didn't spend a single dime on me in prison." And he's like, "Yeah, because I ain't no dumbass." I guess Will knew that Courtney was talking to other sugar daddies in prison, and he pretty much encouraged it because Courtney has a nice little savings now. She has like $5,000-$10,000 that she's accumulated from all these sugar daddies she had in prison, and Will didn't mind it at the time because that meant he didn't have to send her any money, which I'm honestly shocked she ended up picking Will if he didn't send her money, but I guess he probably promised her a lot once she got out. Then Will called out Courtney. He's like, "You don't even have any room to talk because you've been sitting here talking to your sugar daddies nonstop since you got out of prison." So the agreement was she could have sugar daddies in prison because that meant that Will didn't have to send her any money. And that way he felt like he wasn't getting used by Courtney since he didn't have to send her money. But the rule was as soon as you get out, you have to cut all these sugar daddies off. And you can tell she obviously hasn't when she's sitting there texting all these guys, smiling. And Will even said for himself he's read a few of the messages by looking over his shoulder while he was driving. And he saw that these sugar daddies were talking nasty to her. And she was pretty much laughing and just eating it all up. And he said, "Look, you got $5,000-$10,000 in your pocket. You got all these sugar daddies. So I think me taking you to a sandwich shop is the least of our problems right now." And as soon as Courtney heard that, she did not want to take any kind of accountability whatsoever. Then Courtney popped off and said, "Well, what is your cheap ass gonna do next? Take me to a souvenir shop?" He's like, "Yeah, I might, and just leave you on the shelf." And she's like, "No, I'm not no girl that you put on a shelf." She got really triggered by that. She took off her whole wedding ring, gave it to him, and then walked off. And I'm sorry, if you're going to be handing over your wedding ring so easily every time you get mad, then I wouldn't even want it back if I was Will. She took that ring off way too easy over a damn turkey club sandwich. Then she said, "You know what, screw you, I don't need you." She stormed off to the bus stop and said she was going to take the bus home, which I don't understand. Like, girl, you act like you're too good for a sandwich shop, but you're fine riding the bus. Make it make sense. Like, there's nothing wrong with the bus, but if you're gonna act like you're too good for a sandwich shop, then I'm surprised you're not acting like you're too good for the bus stop too. But I just can't get over how much Courtney is hyping herself up. Like, yes, she's a pretty girl, but girl, you need to chill out. Acting like you're too good for a sandwich shop. You literally just got out of prison. You're a felon. Like, you haven't even been out of prison for more than a couple days. And you really don't have anything to offer yourself but some coochie that anybody can get, it sounds like, for the right price. So she storms out to the bus stop, and Will gets up and he starts chasing her down at first, yelling, Courtnee, Courtney. She's like, no, go away, F off. And he was sitting there, and at first he was really trying to get her to come back to the sandwich shop, but he wasn't about to give in and take her anywhere else. I could tell the way Courtney was acting. You could tell she put her mom through hell growing up, acting like this. I'm sure anytime she didn't get her way growing up, she just stormed off and threw a temper tantrum like what we're seeing here, and refuses to communicate until she gets her way. And finally, Will saw that he wasn't going to get anywhere, so he stormed off, and he's like, you know what? Take the damn bus. And after this episode, I like Will even more because he clapped back at her. He had some good clapbacks at her, and he called her out. And that's one thing I was kind of fearful of Will. I was like, man, I hope he doesn't love her so much that he's just going to brush everything under the rug. Now Will is effing around and finding out the hard way that it takes more than just love in the way a girl twirls her hair around her fingers while she's talking on the phone to have a long-lasting marriage. And I'm honestly shocked that Courtney decided to get married knowing she still has sugar daddies on the side. She's just not starting this whole marriage off on a good foot at all. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I was going to talk about another couple, but this video is already getting long enough, so I'll do that for a separate video. So let me know what you guys think about Courtney and Will in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.